Venus Fridays. Here we are again. All right, what's happening with the divine feminine over this week? So, first off, today, the moon is square Venus, right? So, square is a dynamic aspect relationship, like actional, asking for action. And so, what does that mean when the moon is square Venus, right? It's kind of like a quarter moon, right? So to Venus, shall we say. So there could be a feeling today of wanting to step more into your feminine expression, feeling an impetus to put more energy there, connect with that aspect of yourself more. Venus is in Aquarius, so this is about the aspect of the feminine that is looking at the bigger picture, is wanting to expand its consciousness, have like more awareness. So it could be that you find yourself like really in the mental realm of the feminine, thinking about the feminine a lot, feeling into that, even just seeing the bigger picture of how you want the feminine to be in the world. These are things that could be occurring with that. Also, Venus is sextile Chiron. So sextile is a flowing relationship where there's like support and gifts in that. And so Venus sextile Chiron, our wounded healer planet, which is near our north node, like the direction we want to be heading, there is an offering, an opportunity to kind of just lean into some of the healing around the feminine for yourself, especially that Aquarian feminine that is more of the mental realm and consciousness and awareness, right? Which isn't necessarily in our current day and age an aspect of the feminine that we lend a lot of power to. So it could be kind of wanting to step into like, I am smart, or I do want a lot of freedom and space in my feminine expression. So having Venus sextile Chiron just lends itself to letting some of that wounding come up and allowing yourself to just feel and heal into that, or whatever is coming up for you around your feminine expression, wounds that need healing with that could be coming up for you as well today. Then on Sunday, Venus is square Uranus. So Uranus is known as that change agent planet, right? So it could be like, oh, on Friday, today, you're kind of tuning into some of the wounding and things around it, or it's highlighted for you. And then on Sunday, it's like, ugh, I want to like change this thing. But it can also be that Uranus, I like to think of as what tunes us into the universal mind, right? That's the place where it's connected in with Aquarius. And that universal mind, that universal consciousness. So you could find yourself on Sunday really feeling expanded in that way, like really being able to tune into that much larger awareness, like having epiphanies or downloads, or kind of connecting into that cosmic awareness aspect that Uranus is so connected to, but again, around the feminine expression, right? So seeing that bigger picture, having a greater understanding, tapping into that feminine archetype from that universal perspective. It's also the waning half moon on Sunday as well. And so it is the Sagittarius last quarter moon before, as right as we're moving towards the Pisces new moon coming next week. So let's just look at a little bit. I'm going to share my screen because this is an out of bounds moon. So we're in this cycle right now for a few years where the moon goes out of bounds, and it happens every month, a couple times a month, right? Either to the south end or to the north end of the ecliptic, I want to say, I guess. So what does it mean, right? An out of bounds moon, and while we're going through this cycle for these few years, is you know, out of the bounds of normal reality. All things are up and available, right? So these moons, when the moon is in Sagittarius, Capricorn, Gemini, Cancer, it goes out of bounds. But I want to show what that actually looks like visually. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're just going to look at this one slide I created that I taught in my Venus alchemy class yesterday. So here on the left is just a part of my view, my sun setting view, looking to the west, right? Here are the sunsets. So here we are coming up onto this March equinox. This is where the sun will set on my horizon line. So I call this the equinox notch right there. And here is where the sun sets on the December solstice, right? When the sun reaches the furthest, most southern point before it stands still, solstice, and starts to move back towards the equinox, and then off the screen here, the other solstice, right? So this yellow line is the ecliptic. It's the path that the sun takes. So every year on the December solstice, the sun sets right here for me. So I call this the Mount Solstice point right here. But when the moon goes out of bounds, it goes way outside of that path where the sun can go. The sun can never, ever set over here, but the moon does right now. And over these few years, while the moon is going out of bounds, this very special time and place that's happening. So this is what will be happening with that last quarter moon. Here's a crescent moon setting. This will be a quarter moon setting, but I just wanted to show that so you could have the visual. And also, this is just a great time with the equinox coming to look on your horizon line and see where the sun swings throughout the year, right? So the equinox, it'll be at this point. You could look on the eastern horizon if you are an early riser and you have a flat, not flat, mine's mountainous, but a good horizon view, right? I back up kind of to a plateau on the east side. So it's much better for me to track on the western horizon than the eastern horizon because I can see that more readily. Okay, one more screen share, and we are going to talk about wait, I'm going to stop my share and talk about one more thing, and then we'll just look at the astronomy of where Venus is over this week just for fun. I will just say that next Friday, which I'll talk about on Friday, but I won't be putting out this video until after this has occurred, so I want to talk about it today. The crescent moon will meet with Venus. And so following in the Venus cycle, this means we move into the root chakra for a month. So tracking the Venus cycle, the way the ancient Sumerians did in the story of Inanna, the queen of heaven and earth, that was written in the cuneiform clay tablets from ancient Sumer, which is modern day Iraq, is a telling of the Venus cycle and how she moves through the sky over these 19-month cycles. Right now, she's in the morning star phase, nearing the end of that, where she's traveled through these 7 gates on her journey into the underworld when she travels on the other side of the sun. So the gate that we're passing through now is the root chakra gate, right? Where she's getting close to the underworld. So I'm just going to show this in this amazing free astronomy software called stellarium.org. And so here we are today, March 1st, and I just set it for the sunrise time, right? So the sun, I had turned it off, but there's the sun. I turned it off so we could see. Here's Venus with Mars. I'll zoom in just a little bit. You can see the sun, Saturn, and Mercury are all still very close, which their exact conjunction was just 2 days ago on Wednesday. But here they are still close, which makes a really good point because we can be overly focused on like the exact conjunction times in our current age because we have computers that can tell us all these details. But here we are 2 days later, and look, they're still really close. So this is still having a big effect. There's still the opportunity here for that meeting of the mind with the light, with our planet of structure in the real world, middle world aspect to manifest those things within ourselves. Okay, so here we are, Venus and Mars close together. Some people are starting to be able to see Mars in the morning sky. So have a look. I haven't yet. I even brought my binoculars out and couldn't find Venus, couldn't find Mars. You can always see Venus when she's in the morning or the evening sky because she's so bright. But here we are. Here's the moon. Here's Venus. Okay, so here we are, March 1st. Happy March. And here's the next day. And the next day, and look at the moon is there with Antares, moving right along. The moon keeps coming along, cruising until finally on the 8th, next Friday, they're going to meet together in the morning sky. And this will be a very beautiful sight to see. So I'm just going to zoom in so we can see that a little bit more closely, move things around. You can see Saturn and Mercury and the sun have all really separated now. But here's that little crescent moon meeting with Venus next Friday morning. So on Thursday morning, it will look like this. There's the moon. I'll slide it over. The moon is approaching Mars and Venus on Thursday. And then on Friday morning, they come right together and we move into that root chakra gate following the oldest story we have written down about Venus and the Venus cycle. And so this is a month and an opportunity to connect into, is there anything you want to be letting go of, releasing, healing around your root chakra so that you can be more grounded into the earth and feel the support of the earth more readily underneath you, and cultivating like feeling more safety and security within yourself? That's the opportunity of Venus moving through the root chakra. And if you are a big fan of the Venus cycle, this will probably be the last gate that you'll be able to visually see. There'll be one more moon Venus conjunction before Venus drops completely into the underworld, but we may not be able to see it because it depends upon like your horizon line and how you look at things, because the moon and Venus are going to be very close to the sun at that point. So if you have clear skies on Friday morning, I highly recommend getting outside to look and see, because Venus is going to disappear into the underworld in April, coming very soon. All right, thanks for being with me today, and I will see you next Friday.